What's up YouTube? Welcome to the Universe Insights channel, the channel where you get all things news, topics, and drama, things you may or may not know about. Today's video will be covering Young Don, formerly known as Young Don the Sauce God, but currently known as Young Don Reborn. Let's get into it. So for all of you to understand the rise and the fall and the slow rise again of Young Don, we need to go back. Young Don was an animation YouTuber who has a channel currently sitting at 2.35 million subscribers. The channel used to be called Young Don the Sauce God, but it was changed 2 years ago to Young Don Animations. He's a YouTuber from Jamaica who moved to America for more opportunities and got inspired to make animation story times, much like YouTubers like Swoozy and The Odd Ones Out. He made a lot of videos about his life, always telling stories, and his animations would improve each time. His channel was growing fast and he could afford a living off of YouTube. There isn't much to say about his rise because it's pretty straightforward, but then something changed. He stopped posting videos and it's been 2 years. No goodbye video, no updates, no community posts, nothing. Wait, there is something. 80 unlisted videos. I later discovered that Young Don had a second channel, not doing animations but promoting religion under the name Young Don Reborn, sitting at 379,000 subscribers. And I only found out about his channel because the man was saying out-of-pocket stuff that people were mad about. The fall of Young Don isn't a usual YouTuber got into controversy and the internet turned, but this time it's a YouTuber changed and abandoned his channel, then the internet turned. But let's see why he changed, as he did make a video on it.
Then I put out this final statement. I know some of you are new to me, so let me introduce myself. I am Young Don. I am Christian, pro-life, anti-LGBTQ, proud Jamaican national, a grateful and proud American citizen, proudly conservative. If that bothers you, I suggest you unfollow or sit back and enjoy the circus.
The guy said a mouthful. I'm honestly not even surprised, especially on the homophobia aspect, because this information was already revealed in this unlisted video, When the Bro Wants to Be the Bae, a video where he describes his experience with a male coworker whose sexuality he didn't even know. They were cool, and the coworker invited him hiking, and this is how Young Don describes the experience.
Put the food in the fridge. Yeah, bro. I got you. Thanks, man. Appreciate the help. And then I get the out of there. From that moment on, I started avoiding Andy. I know that might be kind of rash to jump to conclusions like that. Andy was a cool dude, and I was reading signals wrong. But don't care. That's a risk I was willing to take. I don't care how Andy wanted to live his life, but I know what spitting game looks and sounds like. And I don't live my life like that. Anytime I saw Andy, I tried not to make eye contact. Whenever he came to order food, full price. Pushed him, bro, not super hard, just like to move him out of the doorway. I'm like, hey bro, I gotta go though, it's late, I'm exhausted, I'll see you around. And then I just skirt out of home. I thought to myself, is this how women feel around dudes that invade their space and hit on them when they don't want it?
Oh shit.
Wow, that must be terrifying.
And then there's this little debate he did.
That's also not taking into account the hormone washing, which also plays a role in influencing.
So you're trying to tell me that every person that fits this criteria comes out gay, and every person who there are no instances where people fall into this pattern that don't turn out gay. Is that what you're saying?
They have a higher likelihood of being gay because of the way that their genetics are lined up.
Okay, but just because they may be predisposed, it does not excuse breaking the law of God.
It does when the law of God is there for no good reason, and in fact, letting gay people live their lives happily is beneficial to society and orphaned children. God tells us to care for the sick. God tells us to care for those who are less fortunate than us. And
God tells us to obey his word.
Well, maybe we can take this a different direction, because the Bible does not actually condemn, except for one verse, homosexual relationships.
No, there are several verses that condemn homosexuality.
I know there are several verses that appear to condemn homosexuality, but whether we're talking about the Levitical verse or the New Testament with Romans, all of these verses, when actually put under scrutiny, they don't actually talk about condemning loving, consensual homosexual relationships.
That's not true.
Well, which one?
So there are verses in the Bible that speak towards marriage is to be between a man and a woman. And furthermore, it speaks to the fact that you are not to have people are not to fornicate, right? You're not supposed to sexually engage with somebody outside of wedlock. So if the Bible says that marriage is for a man and a woman, and then it also says that you cannot have sex outside of marriage, then that is another instance of it denying it not giving permission to homosexuality. See, homosexuality and the mistake I made as a...
But before you go on that, I need to respond to that, because there's a couple different things. First of all, the Bible doesn't just say that it's between one man, one woman. There are verses in the Bible where God allows for and is pleased with people engaged in polygamy.
Let me pull it up for you.
I know the verses. I know all of them.
Bible.
But what I'm talking about is the verse about polygamy. There are verses where God is okay with polygamy, so it wasn't just one man and one woman.
In the Bible, what verse is that where God is okay with polygamy?
You can look it up.
Because that's not true. But Bible verses about.
And then the other thing about one man, one woman, I believe that comes from the New Testament, and that's talking about a marriage that is parallel to the church and Christ. So what that means is that marriage is actually...
Here we go. Here it is for the people who want to see.
Yeah, which verse is it?
Genesis chapter 2:24. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.
That's not a command. Wait. That's not a command. That was descriptive. That wasn't prescriptive.
All instruction by God is to be taken as law.
I don't think you would want to go that route if you're aware of some of the verses that are in Leviticus and Exodus.
Anyways, Don then explains why he switched up using a Bible verse.
So I came to the point where I don't need to feel this like mystical sense of sureness to be a believer. You're a believer if you do what you're supposed to do as instructed by God or as instructed in the Bible. Do it sincerely. That is what it means to be a believer to me. And so I started doing that. But then I ran into a conflict. I ran into the conflict of what it is that I do for a living. Oh man, but how do I still be funny in the reactions and making jokes and the animations and so like I had no desire to be a Christian YouTuber. I didn't want to start a YouTube channel about like just talking about the Bible and abandon everything else I did. And not even because I'm opposed to doing something like that, but because how would it work? I mean, I make so much money doing this. I've afforded myself a lifestyle that I'm comfortable with. I don't want to put that in jeopardy for something that, is, yes, it's good, but then again, looking at the book of James, it says, let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted. What does that mean? Let he who is poor but strong in the faith rejoice, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. But the rich man who doesn't have a strong relationship with the Lord, he's going to lose everything. All you gotta do is look around. Richest man in the world who ever existed, if I'm not mistaken, Elon Musk. 18-year-old son came out, said he's not a boy anymore, he's a girl. And also he disowned his father. Now from my perspective, knowing that there is nothing that has given my life any greater sense of joy other than seeing life go right when I walk in alignment with what the Lord says, is my daughter, is my child. No amount of money could be exchanged for being okay with your kid disowning you and being so lost and confused that they changed their name and they changed what sex they identify with and all that. Look at Jeff Bezos, lost his wife to cheat with a woman who is a whore, that's not crass. The word whore is in the Bible. There is a definition and there is a description for it, and she meets that definition. He left his wife to pursue a relationship with a whore. In doing so, losing half of his net worth instantly. Now he's so rich that that's not the point. The point is, if I have to jeopardize this for the sake of walking in Christ, then it's worth it. But at the time, I didn't feel that way.
He then goes on to say how much turmoil he is in over choosing his religion over his income, and obviously he picked a religion, and that's where the video ends. It was dawned on the live stream, and anything that came before or after was also deleted. A year's worth of content unlisted. But like all things, the internet archives in many ways. So this is a mini segment, but keep in mind we are still in the fall era. I call this Young Don versus the world because my boy was on a warpath, and if you weren't Christian, he was coming for you. The man became a religious dictator and said it was my way or the highway, believe God or burn. There's multiple controversies, so we will try to go from least to most problematic. Not too problematic. They had a very long discussion of religion, and although Don disagreed on a few things, he said he wasn't there to debate.
Yeah, with Jidion and a lot of other Christians like Nick Fuentes, and there's been I've been seeing a lot of debates, and there's been a lot of all the religious people are reacting to this stuff. So I'm in tune. I've been having a lot of conversation with people.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I mean, I'm not here to debate you or anything. So I mean, just tell me. I think that I have a different perspective than most Christians.
Funny thing is, this is the most clear and level-headed I ever seen Sneaker. Young Don versus Jidion is a curious case. Don went full force extremist with Christianity, and Jidion was another Christian YouTuber. However, the situation didn't start in the way you would think. Don wanted to debate with Jidion's pastor, who declined the invitation. Don proceeds to call him a coward, which leads to Jidion and Don having a debate, where Jidion defends his pastor and his beliefs.
My beef has always been with your pastor. I have not said you can't find a single video where I said
when did you talk to my pastor, Don?
What do you mean, when did I talk to you? I've reacted to videos of your pastor telling you that women can be pastors.
Okay, well, when I first told you that my pastor didn't want to talk to you, when previously have you seen anything about him? When did you see anything about him previously? When I told you that he didn't want to talk to you?
What does that have to do with anything? How about you?
Well, because you called him a coward when you never talked to him.
Don came off extremely arrogant, and this is a trend with all his controversies. Young Don talks about ImDontai's wife having a miscarriage. He tries using the miscarriage as a gotcha moment for how ImDontai talks about abortion. ImDontai is pro-choice, but his wife's miscarriage was not a choice. Of course, ImDontai is going to be upset about the situation and not jumping for joy when Don doesn't care. He's more focused on being right.
All right, Dante and Rage on the Discord call.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk, man. What's good?
I mean, I just want to know what your stance is that you just don't fuck with abortion, right? Like abortion, cool, should be gone.
Yeah, no, I believe abortion is murder.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that children in the womb are just as much people as children outside of the womb. I believe that life starts at conception.
Okay, right. I was watching your stream because some people told me you was like smoking on my pack or whatever.
Right.
And you said some things that I wanted to touch on. One thing in particular is like the death of my child. My wife had a miscarriage.
Was that your child? Was that your child?
What do you mean, was it my child?
You said your wife had a miscarriage. So you view that baby as your child, right?
Yeah, my nigga.
Okay. All right. So why is your baby a child, but when another woman aborts a fetus, that is not your child?
You understand abortion is about a choice, right? my wife didn't choose to have a miscarriage. She
But
just
wait,
had
wait.
one, my
But
nigga.
if it's-
listen, she just had one, my nigga. I don't know if you ever experienced a miscarriage, and I hope you don't, because nobody should have to experience that. But what she experienced was not only
See,
was it
here's
a
the problem.
miscarriage,
Here's the problem. You came on with.
it was an incomplete
If you
miscarriage.
listened, if
where
you
the
listened,
fetus was literally hanging.
if you
So
listen,
they had to go through with a procedure, in which a procedure you would do with an abortion.
bro,
Had you not
like
done
I
that,
said
she
during the
died.
stream, if you were listening, I sent my condolences to you
No.
and
I
your
heard
wife.
the condolences part, but then after that is what you said. That's what I'm checking.
What
know
are you
that
checking? Wait.
abortion
What are you
is a
checking?
choice,
Hold
but a
on. Nah,
miscarriage is
nigga.
not,
You
right?
see, nah, you ain't gonna come on here with this energy like you checking me, nigga.
You're talking about
You're
my wife
inconsistent.
and her
I ain't talking.
miscarriage.
I ain't talking about your wife, nigga. I'm saying that's inconsistent for you to be pro-abortion, and then talk about
Abortion is
and
a
then talk.
choice. A miscarriage is not. You know these are two different things, right?
Obviously,
I know. I don't
Obviously.
think anybody agrees.
This isn't the one you think it is, Don. An abortion and an unfortunate miscarriage is not in the same ballpark. Don tries to explain his side of events after.
If you were watching the stream, I'm not tapped into you, Dante. I don't know the situation. Wait, I'm gonna say what I'm saying, then you can go for 20 minutes straight if you want and fucking cuss me out and whatever,
Listen,
right?
Listen.
Then okay. I'm not tapped into you, right? I didn't know the situation with your wife. I came onto the stream cognizant that I was not going to mention your wife. Period. Just because I don't like that shit. I don't remember the context in which I said something about just you having a child. I didn't even put your wife's name in my mouth. I don't know your wife's name. I've seen like one picture of her. I saw your vlog where you had your wedding and all that, and that was very nice. But I did not fucking mention your wife or none. The chat informed me that you went through a tragedy of having a miscarriage. And I was like, okay, my condolences. I would never have gone there if I had known that, because I have a child. And I would never allow a nigga to play with my child like that. And so I would never have gone there. But I took the opportunity to point out the inconsistency of how it's a child when it's your wife, but when it's another woman, it is not a child. And they have the choice to kill that child. That is my problem. My problem is that inconsistency that so many people on the pro-choice side seem to have. It's either it's a baby or it's not a baby. And under any other circumstances, under any other topic, bro, I'm not that invested in that many things. But if you were looking at it from my perspective, where I genuinely believe that the endorsement of abortion is the endorsement of mass infanticide. People, you saw how up in arms people are y'all still there? I'm just making sure.
Still not a when you think it is. Being pro-choice doesn't mean you're pro-abortion. It's a choice, and that's that. The problem with pro-lifers, in Young Don's opinion, over the quote inconsistencies, is that he is one-track minded. You do realize the choice in pro-choice means you have multiple options, right? It doesn't mean kill all babies. ImDontai being upset that his baby died is not an inconsistency, because they made the choice to go through with it and have a baby, and their choice was unfortunately taken away, not because of them, but because of the cycle of life. Young Don is trying so hard to make it seem like ImDontai is overreacting and shouldn't care because it's not a baby, and using this as his basis for a gotcha that he completely ignored the entire point of the choice aspect. With this logic, anyone who is pro-choice and doesn't have an abortion is considered a hypocrite because they wanted a baby. Likewise, anyone who is pro-life but has a miscarriage is a hypocrite because they didn't carry the baby at full term. See where ignoring the entire premise and basing your argument on nonsensical gotchas lead you?
I don't give
you're
a
not part of
fuck.
that.
I don't give a fuck about what women want to do with their bodies, get tattoos,
Why do you
piercings.
care if they?
cut up-
Why do you care about
Because
their
I am
choice?
talking about the child inside them.
Are you gonna adopt their child, bro? You care that much where you're gonna adopt their child?
Please explain why you would say that. Please explain why you would say that. Please explain why you would say that.
Why would I say what?
Why would I have to adopt a child from a woman?
You care about that child so much, right? You care about their choice that they're making, right? You're forcing them to bear that.
I'm not forcing them to do anything. I'm not forcing them to do anything. I'm just asking for people to take accountability. Because it is. So hold on. All right. Did you not? You don't care. You don't care when you hear about mass shootings. You don't care about when you hear about innocent people dying in wars. You don't care about when sick people die. Is that what you're telling me?
What?
I am asking you a simple question. You don't care when innocent people die.
Calm down, bro. I don't know what you're sipping on, but calm down, bro.
Nigga, I'm sipping on water, nigga. I'm sipping on water.
Whether or not you agree on abortions is one thing, but pro-lifers never want to talk about the after, and that's always valid as well. It also goes to show Young Don can't make an argument without whataboutism being thrown in. A life is a life, yes. However, that doesn't mean every situation pertaining to life is the same. You can use examples, but still need to heavily stay on topic for the actual situation. And with this, Don never tackled anything head on.
The choice if they should carry the child or not.
Is that child a person?
Like, nigga, yes. What do you mean?
Okay.
It's not a dog, my nigga.
Okay, so it's a person.
The question is the choice, my nigga. The choice, my nigga. Do women deserve the choice?
I am asking you a series of very simple questions.
Oh my God. On God, are you trolling? Wait, are you trolling? Because we can troll. On God, I'm down with that.
I'm being very serious. So it's a person. Wait. All right.
Go ahead.
Just take me seriously for 30 seconds. It's a person.
On God, I'm trying, but it's hard as fuck with the logic that you be talking about, bruh.
If just listen, Dante. Is it a person?
Yes, it is.
Do you believe that innocent
that
people? Okay, all right. Do you believe that all innocent people have the right to life?
Innocent people?
Yes.
Ain't nobody innocent, man.
What are you talking about?
Ain't nobody innocent. You ain't innocent either. Neither am I.
2 months.
Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody nothing.
A 2-month old baby, no right to life.
2-month-old?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
I am asking you.
Bro, I said the baby's is human. I get it. You trying to make the point? Oh, a baby is a human. We can't kill the babies. You think killing babies is human? I'm talking about the women's choice. The women's choice to have a baby or not.
I do not
baby.
believe that anybody has the right to take the life of an innocent person. It's very simple. I do not believe that anybody has the right to take the life of an innocent person.
But what about the solution for the after?
As it was a woman?
What?
You realize that one of the people who overturned Roe v. Wade was a woman.
And one of the like you think she right?
Yes.
One woman equals right.
Okay, so how many women? So wait. So wait. Now you're telling me that your opinion as a man supersedes that of a woman.
Opinions don't matter, my nigga.
Oh,
that's the
her
whole
opinions don't matter. So only women that agree with you, their opinions matter.
What are you talking about? It should be women. It should be women debating about this period.
Why?
Because they're the one that has the baby, or choose to have the baby or not, bruh.
They weren't alone in creating the baby.
Yeah, I can't say the word because I ain't trying to get you in trouble. But you realize people get R-worded, right?
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
So they should be forced to keep that baby?
Okay, here we go.
Hello?
Here we go.
No, I'm asking. They should be forced to keep that baby just because it's a human life.
You are looking at it from the perspective of forcing the woman.
Looking at it from the perspective.
I am looking at it from the perspective that that baby is the victim of a heinous crime, and you are sentencing it to death.
So everybody can afford to take care of a baby. Everybody can women die trying to give birth, or even carrying alone a baby.
Dante, people die doing all kinds of. Dante, people die doing all kinds of things, man. That's a part of life.
So it don't matter because just everybody died doing all types of things.
Just because some women die in the process of giving birth doesn't give any woman the right to kill a baby.
Got it.
Yeah, you do.
Got it.
The pro-life versus pro-choice thing is something I don't want to get too much into. Anyways, the stream continues and they ended on good terms. And we come full circle. Like the first controversy I mentioned, Young Don, who is a Christian, talked with Sneeko, who practices the Islamic faith. The conversation was very respectful for the most part. However, this went very different on his later views on the Islamic beliefs. Later in his career, shout out to King of Nothing, who made a video calling out Young Don for some very questionable things.
And he constantly goes out of his way to insult a religion that is practiced by about 1/4 of the world's total population.
Difference between the true religion, Christianity, and Islam, which is of the devil.
Then later goes on to play the victim card when he gets called out for his disgusting actions.
So it has been brought to my attention that the 3 Muslims, in an attempt to attack my character and discredit my name, have recently lied, accusing me of scamming one of my supporters. This is 100% false.
I see it now as like, oh, God made a religion, it's Christianity. The devil made a religion, it's called Islam.
Disgusting. This video also goes on to explain that Young Don scammed his audience. In one instance, Young Don claims he will go up to the 3 Muslims, who is a reactionary style YouTube channel that consists of, well, 3 Muslims, if he is sent $100, but quickly changes it to 1,000. One of his viewers actually sent 100, and this happened.
Bro, come on. I'm trying to... Sebastian Charles, I saw the $100. You won't? That's a fact, I won't. That's a fact, because I said $1,000. You need, that's $900 more you need. I said $1,000. I said $1,000. I promise, if someone donates $100, I'll go to the 3 Muslims right now. I promise. I promise.
No excuses. This is a scam. Case closed.
But this is the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. You cannot, on video, knowing for a fact you are being recorded, right? Like he turned the camera on, sober, lie about a number, a factual statement. He says 900 more you need after 30 seconds ago on the same stream saying $100, and then he starts... He starts repeating himself like an idiot, and that does nothing but reinforce the fact that you lied to your own followers on video and literally scammed someone out of $100 for no reason.
Y'all can't count either? Y'all need a dictionary and y'all can't count? $1,000 has 4 zeros, not 3.
This pretty much sums up my thoughts completely, but wait, there's more.
Watch this right now. I wasn't even a Muslim, bro. That was out there for the Muslims. Sebastian, you fell for the trap card. That wasn't for you. Come on, man. Thanks for the 200, though.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You just scammed your own fan thinking that it was a Muslim, which would have made it okay. If it was a Muslim, that's fine. But if it's your fan, that's fine too. That prevents you from having morals or integrity. Okay, alright.
Bro really scammed $200 out of his fan. If you want to watch the full video, this is part 1 of King of Nothing's channel, and the 3 Muslims have the video on their channel that King of Nothing used for his video. Now for part 2.
So let's jump right into it.
It's been brought to my attention that the 3 Muslims, in an attempt to attack my character and discredit my name, have recently lied, accusing me of scamming one of my supporters. This is 100% false.
Where's the ukulele? Classic tactic. Just say it's not true and ignore the fact that people are reacting to the very video you are calling false allegations.
I've been doing this internet thing for a long time, and I was warned that if I say anything in criticism of the religion of Islam, this is exactly the kind of response I would get.
Okay, buddy. So he claims he's being harassed. If you for 1 second think that you're being harassed because of the 3 Muslims, you are delusional, Young Don. You are being harassed by the Muslim community because of comments like this.
Difference between the true religion, Christianity, and Islam, which is of the devil.
On the flip side of that, I would like to say, if you're sitting in a Twitch stream writing negative comments about someone you dislike because you disagree with them about something, I personally think there are probably better things to do with your time, but this man is being harassed due to his own actions. Do not for 1 second believe that this man is being harassed because of the 3 Muslims.
Get it. I've been doing this internet thing for a long time, and I was warned that if I say anything in criticism of the religion of Islam, this is exactly the kind of response I would get. It's just how they are. Well,
that's just how they are. Dude, that was such a nasty comment.
Bro really speedrunning all the foes. Out here like gotta catch them all. What was that one thing he said?
hey, now it's cool to call religion corny or stupid. Now it's cool to do that. Now it's normal to do that. 10 years ago, that wasn't it. Not everyone was Christian. Most people that I interacted with didn't feel Christian, weren't living a Christian life, but there was still at least a respect for just religion in general. But you could start to see that slipping. And so it's now becoming more and more taboo to say I'm Christian. It's starting to be like, oh, you kind of have to come out as Christian now. When 30 years ago, at the very least, if you said you were a Christian, no one's gonna look at you twice like, wow, you're religious? 50 years ago, 100 years ago, it was a no-brainer. It was a gift.
I guess you only want people to respect Christianity and not extend that respect to other religions. Part of why people in general don't respect Christianity.
They are. Well, yesterday, at the end of a 3-hour stream where I interviewed the apostate prophet, which, check him out by the way, great content. At the end of the interview where he gave his testimony as to why he left Islam, I was again bombarded by fans of the 3 Muslims channel with hateful comments insulting myself, my guests, and my Christian fans. While insulting me, they were also demanding that I go and debate the 3 Muslims live, right then and there. Hey, I promise, if someone donates $100, I'll go to the 3 Muslims. Something which I simply had no interest in doing. Hey, I promise, if someone donates $100, I'll go to the 3 Muslims. And I'll be honest, I was tired of the harassment.
You serious?
So I did a little trolling. I very clearly, in a sarcastic manner, said if someone donated $100, I would go to the 3 Muslim stream, thinking that no one would. Hey, I promise, if someone donates $100, I'll go to the 3 Muslim. Why? Because I just made it abundantly clear that I didn't want to.
Nothing was sarcastic about your tone. You said you promised you would, and you didn't try to send the money back, and it kept not just $1, but $200. Not a good look, Don. You promised something to your audience, put a price on it, and didn't deliver. Also, it's very telling when you unlist and delete videos, especially one where you're defending yourself because you know there's truth to the quote allegations. If you want to play something as a joke to your impressionable audience who will send you money, then clarify it's a joke. People who are streamers have a duty to recognize the things they say can and do hold weight. But this is where we are going to leave this for now. If you want to see the full video, be sure to check out King of Nothing's Part 2 video on Young Don. In this section, we will try to understand Young Don. We will talk about another video he posted 9 months ago, this time an animation about why he became Christian. This is actually half the runtime of his original video from 2 years ago, so let's see how it goes.
How Young Don became a Christian. Special thanks to the producer tier patrons. I couldn't do this without you. If you would like to see your own custom drawn avatar at the beginning of the next video, please consider becoming a producer tier patron today. Thank you. Let's begin. Once upon a time, I was a fairly popular YouTuber. I amassed 2.4 million subscribers. I made animations telling funny stories about my life. I was getting millions of views on every video. I was making a lot of money by the time I was like 24 by just drawing dumb cartoons about my life. I went by the name Young Don the Sauce God, which, wow, pretty blasphemous, right? And like most young people today, it seems, I was my own God. I believed in the law of attraction. I thought religion was stupid. Jesus probably never existed, and if he did, he certainly didn't walk on water. I was a perpetual bachelor. I dated casually, never looking for anything serious. I was red pill. I drove sports cars. I lived in a nice apartment in LA. I smoked weed. I drank regularly. I was pro-abortion, and I didn't think being gay was that big of a deal. So in summary, I was wicked. And this is who I was for about 5 years, from 2017 to 2022. And every year was more wicked and worldly than the last.
So from the way this video starts out, he just wanted to change his lifestyle. Don't get why he's so up in arms about gays as a straight man. Outside of that, everything just seems like he wanted to go on a personal journey because he ain't like how he was living. But the irony is, with him wanting to change his life for the better, he actually became a real wicked person and needs to do a bit of self-reflecting. Stacking up on all the phobias and sexism, yelling at people for difference in opinion, taking money from his audience for false promises. Don't care if you donated on a different day after this. You're an influencer who has power over people that look up to you. Recognize that. Anyways, it seems like he was taking a turn for the worse because of his religion. Let's continue.
In 2020, one of my friends telling me about someone we used to know in college who became super obsessed with Jesus and moved out to like a farm and went overseas on mission trips to like Africa. And I remember thinking it was one of the most ridiculous things in the world at that time. Because when I knew him, he was just one of the guys, smoking weed, chasing chicks, you know, he was normal. My life was very simple without Jesus. I wasn't happy. I always felt like I wasn't famous enough or made enough money. I had no peace, but my life was simple because I was my own God, my own moral judge, and it could have stayed that way, but God clearly had other plans. You see, towards the end of this period of my life, God started changing things within my heart and mind and started moving people around in a way which I now see made my conversion to Christianity inevitable.
Yep, classic story. Feeling at a low point, either internally or externally, then latching onto anything and making it your life's purpose. He then gives details on his wife and basically an update on what his animation subscribers didn't know. He never wanted to get married. Ended up finding a woman that checks every box and proposes when she had gotten pregnant. He believes God made this his destiny.
This was the next major chess piece that God moved, because it occurred to me that I had no idea how to raise a family, how to manage a wife and kids and still be in charge and commanding respect while also being patient and loving. Also, along with me becoming more traditionally minded, I was also becoming more conservative, and so was quickly becoming anti-rainbow, and I didn't want my daughter to grow up and be a whore or a boy. So I was like, what can I turn to so that I can raise a good family? And then it came to me. Religion wasn't a guarantee, right? But it was better than nothing. So my fiance and I talked about it. Neither of us were religious. Both of us grew up being exposed to some variation of Christianity. And so we agreed to become Christians and go to church. We thought about Islam for like 2 seconds, but I decided it would be less of a hassle to just go with Christianity. But what that should show you is where I was spiritually.
Find it funny how you consider being Islamic and then went on to bash and call people of that religion devil worshippers months prior to this video. Again, should have done some self-reflecting.
I gradually became more and more curious about what Christianity actually was and how it worked over the course of the previous year. So I started listening to some popular pastors on YouTube like John MacArthur and Vodi Bakum. And one thing John MacArthur preached on was that the Roman Catholic Church was a false church, and he opened my eyes to the blatant idolatry and worship of Mary that was clearly unbiblical. So I decided that we were going to start going to a local Baptist church. So we're doing that, and at the same time, I'm taking a break from animating on that big channel and I started a reaction channel. This channel that you're watching right now, actually, it was called Young Don the Sauce God 2, and I was reacting to worldly content. I was still living in sin, and then the Roe v. Wade thing happened, where abortion was no longer a constitutional right in America. And because I was in this weird place where I was still worldly, I was still living in sin, but I was now a full-blown conservative politically, and I fully adopted all of the moral positions of traditional Christianity, I ended up online celebrating Roe v. Wade being overturned. But remember, to my longtime fans, I was supposed to be this cool, chill, funny black guy who made cartoons from Jamaica. I wasn't supposed to be serious, and if anything, I was supposed to be liberal. Next thing you know, I'm in debates with some of the biggest faces on the internet about why abortion is murder and should be made illegal. I'm talking guys with millions of subscribers.
A lot of his story is just him happening to listen to someone say something, and then again, as mentioned before, he latches onto it because he doesn't know what else to do. One thing I always consider is how can you be sure of something if you can't be sure of your own thoughts about it? It's like a child parroting their parents. The very thing you mentioned before itself that you used to do with your religious mom as a kid.
In realizing this, I said, okay, then I have to make a change. I need to fully commit to the Lord. And it's not the first time I've had this thought. When I first found my faith, the very first time in my life I really felt like I found my faith in Christianity was sometime last year. I started reading the Bible, not because I was looking to be Christian. You know, it's actually a very funny story of how I even got back into being curious about the Bible, because even though I was raised Christian, I was pretending to be Christian. I didn't understand anything about Christianity. We didn't study the Bible the way we should have. I didn't have a father that was a man of Christ to bring me up into the church as God commands. And so my faith, my understanding of Christianity was very weak. I had a very loving and attentive father. Granted, he wasn't able to be as present as I'm sure he would have liked to be because my parents were divorced, but he was not brought up in the faith by his father. And so he was not equipped to bring me up into the faith. And for whatever reason, his eyes wasn't open to it, or his heart wasn't drawn to it in the way where, despite not being raised by his father in the faith, the way God commands the father to, you know, so he wasn't able to do that for me. And that played a huge role in me not having a very strong faith, even though I had a mother that was very strong in the faith. Went to church every Sunday, went to Bible study sessions from time to time, not in a consistent or very significant way, but it did happen. Always played gospel music. Despite all of that, I was just imitating, mimicking the people in the church. But I didn't really feel like I had a strong personal connection with God. And I didn't understand Christianity. There was so much I didn't understand about the religion. There was so much I didn't understand about the Bible. And so as soon as I moved to America and I'm no longer living in a household that demands me to go to church every Sunday, I stopped going to church. I'm now living in America, which is much less Christian than Jamaican. I'm actually starting to see the beginning of the cornification of being religious.
Brings up the ImDontai situation without saying his name, but again, that was resolved by the end of the stream.
Here I was getting hate because I'm standing up for values that I really took on because I saw myself as a Christian. But I could now see how unpopular this was going to make me in the eyes of my longtime fans and many of the popular people of the world that I had made connections with. And so I had to ask, was this Jesus stuff worth it? Was it worth me putting my status as an internet celebrity in jeopardy? Did I even really believe it? I remember it so clearly. It was nighttime. I had just finished responding to this popular YouTuber who had called me out for my crazy takes on Twitter, and I went and sat on my back patio with my Bible, and I was just talking to God, asking him to help me know what to do. I end up opening my Bible to the book of James and I start reading, and then I hit chapter 1 verse 5, and it reads, "Now if any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives to all generously and ungrudgingly, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith without doubting. For the doubter is like the surging sea, driven and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord, being double-minded and unstable in all his ways. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because that's where I was, being torn between who I was and who I was starting to become. Someone who truly cared about God.
Caring about God is fine, but you still have to live in a world with other people and can't just disregard the audience you cultivated without thinking of how alienated a sudden switch up can be. Do what's best for you, but understand the people around you also. But his video ends, and it was really just extra context of his Christian journey and segues into the original video 2 years ago. And here we are, the apology video made 2 weeks ago as of this recording, after another break from Young Don, and it was basically a life update and self-reflection video.
Over the last 4 to 5 months, I've had some time to think and reflect, and that's just something that I haven't had much of an opportunity to do since I started making YouTube videos. A chance to slow down, think and reflect. And I think that was especially overdue because of my conversion to Christianity and the fact that my spiritual walk, my growing in Christ or growing towards Christ, has been public from day one. From day one, I have been broadcasting my religious journey and my religious beliefs, and I never really had an opportunity to stop and think and reflect and, you know, meditate upon my life in the way that I've been able to do in the last 4 months. And so, as a result of that, I want to say a few things. I want to tackle a few things.
Okay, so for all of you who want to see the full response, Young Don's video is over an hour long. I'll just be tackling the main points that go with this video.
First, let me start here. I want to apologize to anybody I've offended whilst expressing my beliefs and my opinions, especially the ones pertaining to Christianity. In particular, I can think of 2 groups, Muslims and the LGBTQ plus IA community. One more letter and then it would have been mockery, right? If I did one more little letter, that would have been mockery. Which is not the time for that, not time for jokes, because this is a genuine apology I'm giving you right now. I know for a fact that since becoming a Christian, I have said things in ways and in a particular tone that was not of the right spirit, was not of the right spirit of Christ. Jesus Christ said that he did not come to condemn, but he came to save. I have my beliefs, I'm a Christian, right? They don't harmonize with the theology or philosophy of Islam. They don't harmonize with the moral standards of the people who identify with the LGBT community. But nonetheless, it was never my intention to offend you. I want you to listen, or I wanted you to listen. And that's not how you get someone to listen. At the end of the day, I just want everyone to go to heaven, right? And this is what I believe is how you go to heaven, is through Jesus and following him and obeying him. And so that was the heart of why I said what I said concerning these communities, but I didn't do it properly. It wasn't tempered with wisdom. It wasn't tempered with knowledge. And so there.
Okay, it's good that you recognize some of that, but your words were hate speech in most things. And from one of your videos, you said yourself you considered being Islamic. I always found it weird how at one point you considered something, but then turned around and degraded it and the people in it at every chance you got.
To repent. First and foremost, I would like to repent of blaspheming the Lord our God, Jesus Christ, by having an anti-Trinitarian position. That's what it would have been, right? By denying the Trinity, by denying the eternality of Jesus Christ. I would like to formally repent to the world for my blasphemy, where that is concerned. And yes, by reading the church fathers, it was clear that they taught that Jesus was with the Father before the beginning of time. He wasn't merely there at the beginning of time. He wasn't merely the beginning of time, but he was there with the Father before the beginning of time. This is what they say. And so this is what I believe. Furthermore, for any of you who don't believe in the Trinity, especially if you don't believe in the Trinity because of something you heard from me, you know, I love you and I want the best for you. I ask you to just do one thing. Read Athanasius's writings against Arius. Right? Arius.
So this is almost a reflection to what we covered before, to when he called up Jidion and told him to stop believing the Torah or else he'll go to hell.
You qualified for one of my many apologies. I hope that you can forgive me. Understand that I have grown from all of these last 2 years of being a Christian. And you know, I've matured, and so I really do commit to not making the same mistakes twice. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for your mercy. I pray that, man, I pray we all make it to heaven. Everyone listening to this video. May God have mercy upon us all.
Not much to say. It was pretty simple. The bulk of it was about his own personal journey and how he was essentially misinterpreting how he should represent his faith. Again, if you want to see all of it, go watch the full video on his channel, but I do find it a bit of a missed opportunity for him to not go into as much detail about how he was wronging people left and right, but I get it. You don't want to constantly bring up old stuff he did and want to move on from it. However, for an apology video, a bit of deeper recognition seems warranted. At the time of writing this script, Young Don has put out 9 videos. Only one of those 9 really deals with the topic of Christianity, and it shows that he is taking his own advice. As said in his apology video, he wants to be a YouTuber that's Christian, not a Christian YouTuber. He's still deep in his faith, but he's not being extremist with people around him. His views did not take a hit, and he is going to be alright. This was an extensive look at the rise, fall, and rise again of Young Don Reborn. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.